I'm gonna make this quick. My daughter is giggling in the background, and I don't have a noise canceling microphone. So let's make the most of this, shall we? So, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's get into this. So, learn to believe you. What I mean by that is learn to believe yourself. When you are dealing with a person or dating someone, getting to know someone, learn to believe what you felt. Learn to believe what you thought about them. Trust your gut instinct. When it comes to this, trust your gut. Just go with that. Um, Sometimes we our subconscious feels and understands things before our conscious mind does. Our subconscious is picking up on different clues that we might not consciously get. You know, some that's what you um, see when people say like, "Oh, this person looks good on paper," but in reality, they're not that great. This person looks good on paper, but in reality, they are dismissive. They look good on paper, but they are kind of rude, or they are rude. They look good on paper, but it's just on paper. If you get to look at the fine print, they have some holes in their story. So they might be lying or stretching the truth. Um, your subconscious can pick up on that. Your subconscious can say, it's something off about this person. Um, and then, and your subconscious is also going to pick up on the things that your conscious will eventually pick up on, right? But initially, when we're getting to know somebody, we just want to like them and we want them to like us. So we may tend to overlook certain things or to, you know, tell ourselves that we didn't see something, but we really saw it. So believe yourself, believe that first impression. Um, if something happened that goes awry and you are like, yeah, this ain't it, believe that. Don't second guess it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Baby, believe you. Because you're not going to steer yourself wrong. It's highly likely that that person will be the one to steer you wrong, right? So make sure that you are believing in you, trusting that inner voice, trusting what you know. Um, and for some people, this might be difficult. Let's say you have not went through any therapy. Let's say you haven't talked to anybody, or you haven't really done the work on yourself. You know, let's say you haven't really gotten to know you or sat with yourself from that last relationship to the next. You might need to take some time to do that so that you can identify your own voice and understand, when yourself is telling you that something is not right. It should be common sense, but it's not always. So if you don't feel like you can trust your judgment, you might need to take some time to sit back and evaluate decisions that you've made, people that you've dealt with in the past, situations that you've had in the past, in order for you to be able to decipher if a new person or new situation is for you. But if you have done that work, if you know yourself well enough, or what you want, what you don't want well enough, then you should be able to identify really quick if someone's actions or lack thereof um, is going to match well or mesh well with yours and what you are on. Because the kicker, the issue is that in the end, when it doesn't work out, when it ends in disaster, or when it doesn't end well for whatever reason, usually that reason is one of those red flags that we saw in the beginning that we overlooked. We didn't believe ourselves when we first saw it. You know, like for example, if you first start dealing with somebody and y'all go on y'all first date and the waitress is trying to get y'all order right and everything, and they get some things incorrect, and you see this person blow up and go off and act a fool on this waitress or waiter, cause a whole scene, everything, and they're so upset, um and you're seeing how this person is behaving. You seeing how they talking to people. You seeing how quickly they're able to get angry and fly off the handle and crash out. Um, and as the relationship go on, next thing you know, they doing that to you. Next thing you know, y'all have a disagreement and it turns into a full blown argument and issue. Or later on, they put their hands on you or whatever. You saw in the beginning that this person is a little touched. You saw in the beginning that this ain't it. Yourself told you in the beginning that something ain't right. I might need to run. And if you overrode that and you kept on going, well, I like them. They have this and they have that. They drive this or they drive that. They're in this income bracket. They 6 foot, 6 figures, blah 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 blah. You've told yourself this or that, or they real cute and they pretty in the face and they got a big booty and whatever, male or female. Sometimes, most of the time, we have seen what we needed to see early on, and we told ourselves that ain't what we seen. We did a blink blink and it went away, just like in scary movies where a person wake up, they think they seen a ghost or something, they rub their eyes, they blink, and then it's gone, but they know they seen it, right? They know it was there. Same thing. That person's characteristic is not a ghost. It's not going to go away, never to return. It's there. It's lingering. It's inside of them. It's their spirit. It's their character. It's there. So learn to trust that, okay, and believe that, and move accordingly. If you don't feel like if let's say you don't feel like let's say you see a red flag and you want to make sure that that's what you saw, you can ask them some probing questions to get to the root of that, but dig deeper. Don't just allow something to just be, oh, this is how they are and I'm just gonna let it go. No, investigate that. If you decide, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance, you need to make sure you investigate that flag, okay? Because you still got to believe you. It's just like when if your child was to tell you, hey, something is off about this person that you're dating. um I saw them looking at me a little weird, or I saw them do something, or if or yeah, something like that. You not going to not believe your child. You going to remove that person away from y'all. You're gonna run for the hills. You're gonna go on about your business. If your child tells you that more happened, you gonna press charges. You're gonna go forward. You're gonna investigate the situation more, and more is gonna transpire and unfold to so that you can handle that situation. Treat yourself like that. Treat yourself with that much care as you would your child crying out about something not being right. As adults, we don't treat our own feelings and our own thoughts with the care and delicacy that we would treat a child's. And essentially, we are all just grown up children, right? That's why when you go to therapy, the first thing they fucking start with is talking to your inner child and dealing with your upbringing in childhood, because you are just a product of that. You just grew up. Okay? So think of yourself that same kind of way, and trust that inner voice. Trust, what you saw. Who are the most honest people? Who are the people that see what adults didn't see? Children. So your subconscious is kind of like your inner child, in a way, if you think about it. That's seeing the things that you as an adult ain't looking for, because you focused on how much money they make. You focused on, oh, they drove a nice car. You focused on, oh, we at this nice place with this restaurant, blah, 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 blah. You focused on nice, pretty words that they might be using. But your inner child, your subconscious, your part of yourself that is observing, you know, inside looking out, is saying, nah, this ain't right. Okay? And then sometimes there are more blatant flags. Like I said, this is the example of the person blowing up at the waitress. I feel like that's a blatant flag. You go on a date and they constantly on their phone. That's a blatant flag. You go on a date, they got 2 phones, 2 or 3 phones. And they can't explain to you, what this other one is for. If they have a type of job that, makes them have to have that, awesome. But if they don't have that type of explanation, what's the point? Um, you know, they they talk about different things that they can't substantiate. They seem like they're lying, or they're pushy with you, or they're violating your boundaries in the topics that you're discussing. They're going straight to talking about sex or something, that's inappropriate for where y'all are. These are things that are red flags. Anything that you have recognized in your past that you didn't like, that you wasn't okay with, that you wasn't comfortable with, that hurt you, and you get a twinge of that, don't fall off into the social media. Well, you speaking out of your trauma, and you need to hear. Nah, a traumatic experience sometimes is there to help us to not experience it again. If you reached your hand out to touch that stove and it was hot, and you drew back and it hurt, you're not going to be reaching out to do it again, or you shouldn't be. But that's what we end up doing a lot of times, especially when we keep meeting a different person, just in, the same person, just in a different body, or the same types of people, just in a different body. That normally happens when we ignore those red flags, and we ignore us, when we don't believe ourselves. So make sure you believe in you the first time. If that inner voice say run, you got to run. Okay? Make sure you like and subscribe. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed evening. This has been Free Game. Bye-bye.